In a major update to how India's ride-hailing industry operates, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has rolled out the Motor Vehicle Aggregator Guidelines, that is the MVAG 2025, and it's a game changer. Starting now, platforms like Uber, Ola, Rapido and InDrive can charge up to twice the base fare during peak hours. That's an upgrade from the earlier 1.5 times cap. And during off hours, they can offer rides at just half the base fare, making commuting cheaper when demand is low. The base fare, which is determined by each state for different vehicle categories, will apply for the first 3 kilometers of a ride. This base accounts for the so-called dead mileage, which is the distance a driver travels without a passenger. The rule also clarifies that no extra charges can be levied for this unless the ride is shorter than 3 kilometers. Passengers can only be billed from pickup to drop. But what happens if you cancel a ride without a valid reason? The new guidelines introduce a 10% cancellation penalty capped at 100 rupees for both the driver and the passenger. That fee gets shared between the aggregator and the driver depending on the ownership model, which is drivers using their own vehicles keep at least 80%, while those using aggregator-owned cars get 60%. On the safety front, health insurance worth 5 lakh rupees and term insurance of 10 lakh rupees is now mandatory for all drivers. Passenger protection is also covered, with aggregators required to provide a minimum of 5 lakh rupees insurance per rider. To keep the service quality high, drivers ranked in the bottom 5% of user ratings will need to undergo quarterly retraining or risk being removed from the platform. Annual refresher training is mandatory for everyone else. A standout feature of the 2025 guidelines is that private motorcycles can now legally operate as bike taxis provided the state gives the green light. This is a big win for companies like Rapido and Uber Moto, especially in places like Karnataka, where bike taxis were recently banned. The new rules also make vehicle location and tracking devices compulsory, connecting them to both the aggregator networks and the respective state command centers for better passenger safety and monitoring. The states have 3 months to adopt all of these guidelines. They are also allowed to make additional tweaks to suit regional needs. Where no base fare is declared, like in some cities, aggregators must notify the government of their rates. For context, Delhi and Mumbai currently charge around 20 to 21 rupees per kilometer, while Pune sits at 18 rupees per kilometer. The responses from the ride-hailing industry has been upbeat. Uber praised the guidelines as a move towards innovation and regulatory clarity. Rapido called it a milestone for last-mile connectivity and affordable transport. In short, this government push could reshape how India hails rides, making it both smarter and more rider and driver-friendly.